Yo yo yo, how's it going everyone? Today we are back with a brand new video. We're going to be reacting and watching Israel Adesanya's breaks his silence against lost to Strickland at UFC 293. Let's just get right into it.
Know who it is, the realest.
I think this came out yesterday. What do you guys think about that merch? Like that vintage kind of thrift store look.
David Adesanya,
I know it's some people's style, not my style.
45-pound champion here with
Right though.
former two-time UFC middleweight champion Israel, the last starbender Adesanya. It hurt me to say that.
Yeah. I was like, wait, you sound like you're at a funeral. I swear, I was like, that was just a eulogy.
That was a dagger to my own heart.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, why do you say it like that? What you mean by that?
That was emotional damage.
Emotional.
Yeah, that's wild.
All right.
Breathe. Why are you sweating?
I don't know, nigga.
Cold sweat. Jesus Christ. He's actually sweating.
We back. Whatever. It's out of the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we here.
We here. We are 1 week removed from the fight. How you feeling?
1 week ago.
Feeling. How am I feeling? About the fight itself.
Everything. Break it down however you want to break it down.
How am I feeling? I'll put it the bet quietly confident. And
Confident.
that's after watching the fight. I was like, oh yeah, I see.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You watched the fight back. Have you only seen it the one time, or have you gone back to watch it again?
Nah, just once. I watched it
And
again.
that was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
What was the
We
experience? like
rewatched
even
the
watching
fight.
it?
Watching it, I was just like, okay, you just gotta fucking pull this back. You've seen me, even if I've had fights that I won, but I wasn't really satisfied. I was just like, I don't want to watch that shit, you know. But I just watch it anyway, just so I can learn from it. And yeah, this is no different. I wasn't happy with the performance, so I was like, don't want to watch this, but I have to watch it just so I can learn.
I'm waiting till he gets more in
Sooner I
depth
watched
about it.
It's the same reaction every time. I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like I said, even fights that I've won, and I'm like, oh, it probably looks shit.
Wait,
You know, it wasn't as
Did he just say like this fight wasn't that bad?
watch it just so I can learn from it. Soon as I watched it, and it's the same reaction every time. I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like I said, even fights that I've
It wasn't
won,
that bad.
I'm
It
like,
looked
oh,
kind of.
it probably looks shit. You know, it wasn't as And I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, that wasn't that bad. So this was the same thing. I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. So I was just like, the way I felt in there was different than how it looked.
I wonder what he was what he thinks wasn't really that bad during the fight, because everyone would think that either you look off or like yeah, something's off with you or something in a fight. I feel like that's kind of bad, you know.
How did you feel in there?
How did I feel in there?
I'm not the one saying that he looked off.
bad
I think
dream.
Sean's
Like, you know, one of
defense
those
just
dreams
kind
where
of
you-
was outplaying him there.
Lucid nightmare or something?
Like, just like, not even a nightmare. Like, nightmare is like, oh shit, fuck.
That's what I felt like.
bad
For me.
dream.
I was projecting.
I think I saw this clip on Instagram.
How did you feel in there?
How did I feel in there? Like a bad dream. Like, you know, one of those dreams where you,
Lucid nightmare or something?
like, just like, not even a nightmare. Like, nightmare is like, oh shit, fuck.
That's what I felt like. For me. I was projecting.
Not, well, nightmare is like, you know, you're scared. But this is like, oh, just like, why is this not, like, you try and hit the guy and just feels like noodle arms. Like, just like, the fuck? Like, it's not. So
Yeah, I
that
saw
just
this
felt
clip and I was like, I don't know what he means by noodle arms, because I feel like it was just defense from Son was just really like good that night. It was just on point that Izzy's punches weren't like landing because of that reason. It didn't look like he was like throwing weak punches or whatever. It just looked like Son's defense was just really on point that night. But
like a
let's
bad
hear what
dream.
else he has to say.
But yeah, feeling it and watching it completely different. And called Eugene right afterwards, and we talked to him. Same thing. We're quietly confident.
While you were in there, did the fight go fast or did it go slow? How did it feel?
Surprisingly fast. Surprisingly, I didn't even know it was the last round. I was like, "Is this the last round?" He's like, "It's the last round." I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Okay, like, vámonos. Like, you need to do something." So, but yeah,
That's kinda
it's
surprising to
it's
hear.
the way I felt in that fight wasn't Yeah, it was just yeah. But again, it's just also the way he worked. He just never let me get into my rhythm at
Let's
all.
talk about it. Yeah, what are some of the things that he and his coaches did well? Because they were pretty. I mean, they were pretty.
They just not gonna say his
upfront.
name.
Everyone knew what their game plan. The game plan was going to be: forward pressure, cut you off. And he
thought they
said
were
he
gonna
was
wrestle.
willing to give one to take one.
Yeah, yeah, but just wasn't able to like just get my rhythm because of his pressure. He was right there constantly, and whenever I was setting him up, because he's right there, then his coach would help him, and I'd be like, "Fuck," and yeah, it was just good game plan from their end, but also for me, I wasn't able to adjust on the fly. I wasn't able to adjust on the.
Yeah. Yeah, what Sean Strickland did well. I respect him giving props to the Sean's game plan and actually admitting that Sean's game plan of that forward pressure and stuff was really like not letting him get into his game plan. I can respect that.
Fly.
And I think that's true.
And
I think Sean's
make
game
that
plan
happen
was
another time.
really
no,
like well
it was
executed.
it was his night. It was his night, and yeah, he got it done. I made another dream come true.
Talk about how good his defense was, because at some stage during the fight, you mentioned that you couldn't find your jab.
Yeah, even like
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna. Yeah, let's predict, guys. Is he gonna compliment Sean's defense here, or just say that his arms were noodle arms and he just couldn't throw punches?
I said it
I'm gonna say he gives props to Sean's defense somewhat.
before the fight. I think his guard is like just real unique and unorthodox. So I was able to find this. I wasn't able to find my jab, and I'm able to find my jab. I can find the chin. I'm very confident in that. But yeah, it was just his guard was just good. It was good defense.
Yeah, he gave props to his defense.
Well-rounded game.
Let's talk about the first round. He rocked you and dropped you with a right straight. What was your own initial reaction?
Guys, he was just playing possum here. That was just possum. If he says that, this would be crazy. I don't think he says that though.
Because we saw, people's reactions on the internet. Rogan almost had a heart attack. Like Rogan's eyes almost popped out of his head. Like couldn't even.
I haven't seen many of them yet, but yeah, mine was like, this nigga just dropped me, and I started kind of like laughing a little bit. And at one point, I looked at Mark Goddard. You can find the clip and frame it. I was just like,
Yeah, I saw that during the fight.
But I was just like, and then right afterwards, we disengaged. And
I think that thumbs up right there was kind of why Mark didn't stop the fight. Like if he didn't give that thumbs up, there would have been a more chance that the fight would have been stopped right there.
I was just like, I'm okay. But I was just like, and then right afterwards, we disengaged, and I feel like, right, I'm clear, I'm lucid, back on the attack. And then it was 5 seconds or something left. So then I went back to my corner. But I remember I was
What did
awake.
Eugene say?
I was out of position. Like I was out of position, and I tried to use a lead hook counter, but he just pop the rhythm. That's not what Eugene said, but like Eugene just pretty much said I was out of position. But when I look back at it now, it's just his timing. The 1-2 was offbeat, pop, and then just got me in between in the rhythm. It was good. It was a nice shot, clean. And the barrage as well, I was like, oh shit, he's pouring it on. I was like, he's really punching me. I was like, I'm okay, ref. But it was just, I was literally, I was like, this motherfucker's punching me. Like, yeah.
You recovered well. You came back in the second round and you won the second round. You didn't look like,
Yeah, again, I don't like to brag.
I was kind of surprised with that second round. I thought Sean was gonna try to somewhat finish the fight there, which would have been, I guess, really bad on his part, like overextending and stuff, because then that fight could have really turned around with Sean overextending if he did. But I was surprised he gave Izzy that second round right there. But I guess he was just trying to wear his energy down and stuff.
I know how to
I mean, it worked out.
certain shots. I am human, so yeah. But yeah, it was just well-timed shot, nicely executed. It's cool.
Nice. You came back. Second round was good. Like I said, you looked clear. You won the second round. And then talk to me through what's going on as the third round starts, and he's still frustrating you. He's still disrupting your rhythm. You can't land. He's what's going through your mind as you feel the fight slipping away from you?
As I feel the fight slipping away, I wasn't even scoring the fight, but I just knew, like, nigga, you're losing the fight. But in there, it was just like I said, it was just felt like I just felt like my arms were just not like noodles.
How did you feel warming up in the back?
Felt better. I have felt better in the back when I'm just like, fuck, I'm sharp. But yeah, I don't know. Just in there, just felt like a bad dream. And just my arms were just noodles, like had no snap. Had no, like, and it just felt weird. At one point, I was just like,
I haven't really rewatched the
I gotta
fight,
finish
but
this guy.
I don't know. It didn't look like his arms were noodles.
And I tried, set him up a couple times. He defended it well. Corner helped him out, guiding him well. And then I just try and find something and don't get caught. Especially in the last round, I was like, make sure, don't get caught. So I don't like fighting like that. I like fighting to win and not to just, not on the defensive primarily. Yeah, I like to be offensive in certain situations, like in the last round.
Wait, am I tripping, or was Izzy the one that said he's the champ and he doesn't need to be on the offensive? Like the people that are trying to get the belt need to put the pressure on him because he's the one with the champion and ship, and they need to show why they want to get the belt, and he's kind of defending it or whatever. Is that not what he's saying here? Like the reverse, not that he likes putting in the offense. Was it him? I'm pretty sure it was him.
To win and not to just, not on the defensive primarily. Yeah, I like to be offensive in certain situations, like in the last round. Okay, we gotta go. And
Like, I thought that's why, if I remember, why I never really liked watching Izzy's fights that often, because he would always just kind of just do enough to win. Like, he wasn't really offensive like that. He would always just do enough to retain his belt.
Couldn't go.
What were your coaches telling you in
Pretty
between
sure that was
rounds as
Izzy.
the fight was playing out? Because Eugene said there was a bit of a disconnect with what they were seeing and trying to communicate that to you. And
maybe I wasn't tapped in. Maybe I just, like, sometimes just lag, a little bit of lag. Because even after he told me what he meant, and I was like, he wanted me to, when he talked about that, and I was like, okay, bet, that's what he meant. Like, just a little bit of a lag between communications, I think. Yeah.
is that like also you not being as locked in mentally going into that fight? Because the comparison from 287 to 293 is like...
Someone said something to me. I think it was AB. AB said, he said as soon as the opponent switched, he said, like, almost instantly. It was like, I went from, with Dracus, I went like, I'm gonna fucking kill this dude. Like, I had this thing about me. He said, like, when the opponent switched, he just noticed, I was like, okay, I'm gonna whoop this dude. Like, I'm gonna whoop this dude. Like, going from...
I do want to see that Dracus Duplessis fight and Izzy fight. I feel like that'd be kind of fun to watch.
I'm gonna murder this.
I think back then I would have said Izzy would win that, but after the Sean fight, I feel like yeah, anything's really possible.
I'm gonna fucking kill this guy too. Oh yeah, I'm gonna whoop this dude. So that's something AB just happened to mention. I found that interesting.
I think DDP has a
did
bigger
notice that,
chance of
yes.
beating
How much
Izzy
pressure
now
do you
after the
feel
Sean fight.
going into that fight and during fight week?
Yeah, I'll put a lot of pressure on myself because in my head I was like, I have to beat this guy. No matter what, I have to beat this guy. So I put pressure on myself. There's the outside pressure, but the pressure you put on yourself as well. But yeah, I put pressure on myself, but I'm still kind of like dissecting it. So yeah, I put pressure on myself, but I just didn't have that venom. I think that venom, I didn't, yeah. Interesting, all right.
I thought you'd get the venom from the, trash talk and, everything, but...
Yeah, like, I mean, definitely some of the stuff, it's not over. The story's still being written, but, like, I talked to Eugene about certain things as well, and then we know exactly what to do. Yeah, we know exactly what to do leading on to the next one.
before the
I think Sean gets all the props for the build up to the fight. I don't think I really would have cared too much about the fight if it wasn't for Sean's trash
fight,
talking
we
and the
sat here
stuff
and
he
we
was saying
talked
before
about
the fight.
how, in some alternate universe, in
What
some
was
different
that?
timeline, Strickland wins the fight. And it was, our job to make sure that
It's on this timeline.
It's just spinning in the
it
air.
didn't happen. When it was all said and done and they announced and knew and, everything played out, what were those, initial emotions like?
Every time after a fight, no matter when you win or lose, you just feel a sense of relief, like, oh well. So there's no relief of anything, but just like, oh well, made it out. That one, the
And you're
camp
okay
and everything, healthy, fine. So that's the main thing: being healthy, being fine from the camp, and there, even though there's all these little things that happen during the camp, but like overall healthy, wealthy, and yeah. Initially, I was just like, oh, well, good job. First thing I said to him, because he starts crying, I'm like, hey, stop crying like a bitch. He starts laughing. I'm like, hey. And then we talked about, other stuff. I was like, don't bring my family into this today. And he's like, I'm sorry. And changed his tune at the post fight though. It's weird. I was like when we have like a real moment and it's genuine, it's like, oh yeah.
He's a politician.
Yeah, but still, it's just like, I guess he has to keep up appearances, but I just find it.
I don't know. I feel like you can't really judge someone right after the post fight, and like winning the belt for the first time. Like that's just way too much adrenaline to even really know what's going on. I think Sean really said like he had no idea what Izzy was saying in that cage after the fight or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't expect him to because that's like a lot going on.
Weird how you have a real moment and then like, yeah, it's all good. Keep it real.
You still went to the after party, you still, had fun, took photos with fans.
Three of us won, so it's still an accomplishment. Even if we're all like, doesn't matter, like what we've done, we still have to celebrate because look.
What was the
where
camp
we come
or
from,
team?
how far
3 out
we've
of
come,
6, something like that.
To be able to even do that, Sydney, 6 fighters from CKB with a new signee, go in there and do what we did is just, it's unprecedented. So yeah, we have to celebrate no matter what, even the small wins. So yeah.
And plus, there's a lot of work that goes
Went into it, yeah.
everything. Let's talk about the boys. Actually, I'll interview them as well. Kevin starting the night off.
Fuck, banger. Yeah, banger. Kevin just went in there and just like kicked the door in and said like, everybody on the fucking ground, and yeah, it's him. It's just it's just good to see because we all know how good Kevin is. So the fact that he went in and did the way he did, and just at the mic starts calling out Ian Gary already, calling out whoever else, like going at everyone. But that's Kevin. I know how good he is. So yeah, it's a good job. He kicked the night off well for the boys. And let me see. I don't want to go too much into Diamond and Chain because sour subjects. I don't want to go too much into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's highest of highs, lowest of lows.
That's the game,
especially
though.
when you're part of the team. Like, 3 wins, three losses. That's right. We're talking about Carlos.
Yeah, a loss. Yeah,
6.
just
What a performance from him.
boy, people won't even know. It's what he had to go through leading up to the fight, through the camp, and during fight week as well. I don't know if he's talked about it publicly, so I won't. But like,
That's championship medal. That's how
he just during the camp, it was just some bad injuries that he had to nurse, and then during fight week, bad injuries he had to nurse, like bad. And going in there and then beating him the way he did. And I'm glad they finally used the replays to, consolidate what happened. So
That's right. The guy was out.
yeah, he tapped, and it was out. But if they didn't use the replay, they don't missed it. It wouldn't have been his first submission win. So it was good.
I think I saw
It
that.
was good
Yeah,
for the team.
yeah.
Also Tyson as well. That was perfect. That was like storybook night for Tyson.
He replayed it and saw that he
Had the
actually
perfect
tapped and it was
villain,
over.
Mr. Pleasure Man. And
I love the fight name.
the way the guy was carrying on, even before the fight started, like his antics, it was like, Tyson was like, bet. I went in there and just starched him. And then like a cold celebration. Gang. That was tight. So yeah, and also doing it in his home, in his own backyard, yeah. It's fucking storybook night. Yeah, so that was cool.
Talk to me about your first post-fight shower.
My first post-fight shower was after the after party.
What?
After all the noise.
You didn't shower before the after party?
Nah.
Man's was in there dirty.
I was like, no, it's a little moist, but still. Yeah, it was just.
Post fight shower. I never heard a question like that.
There's not much I can say to you guys, but it was one of those ones where I made some tough calls. I was like, okay, right. Because then I was like, it's, you're alone and you get to have that real conversation. So I was like, right, this is what I have to do now. So I know what I have to do. And it was just, didn't take long, to be honest. I already knew it, but then it was good to just like face myself and just like, yep, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. And I'm like, all right, bet. And yeah.
Dana said you looked slow and flat in there. A lot of people.
Dana was saying a lot of things.
That's not Israel. The last time that Adesanya that they saw at 293.
Dana was
he was
really
last
chatting.
three fights: UFC 281, 287, 293. That's 3 title fights in the last 10 months. Everyone praises you for being an active champion. I'm pretty sure you are the most active
3 fights
champion.
really?
10 months, yeah. Well, it was April. No. November. December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, September.
August,
September, okay, 11 months.
11 months. Still. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that makes you, the number of title
he is
fights
pretty
that
active.
had, including those ones.
I know some people are saying that how active he is might have been a factor in going into this fight. I'm not too sure on
I
that.
think that makes you the most active champion in UFC history.
I think Izzy would only know the answer to
I
that.
don't know. We'll see. But
How much? I'm pretty sure you are. How much of a toll does it take on you physically and mentally?
Yeah, let's hear what he says.
Going in there, back-to-back camps.
It does. Yeah, it takes a toll, but again, like I said, I'm human. I understand what I have to do to get back to who I am. And it's funny as well.
What?
I've seen a little bit, they chirp, they delight my demise and whatnot. But it's funny how they all say, like, if I face that version of Israel, if I face that version of Israel, it'd be this, it'd be that. Oh, I'll kill him in 2 rounds. I'll do this. If that version of Israel shows up to fight me, that version of Israel, that version of Israel. I'm like,
it's in line with the consensus.
I don't know, but like, it's funny how like my, opponents and stuff will like to say, oh, that version of Israel. If that version of Israel, I'm like, well, you understand who I am then, which is good.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand who I am, so yeah. I just find that funny. Even me, like this, you know me, after the period fight, what did I take? Like 2 weeks before I even said anything.
I feel like people saying that version of Israel really takes away from Sean's performance that night. But I can see why people are saying that.
I like to take my time with things. I process things. Win or lose.
But I feel
take
like
my time.
Sean was
Everyone
like the leading factor
confused, so I
of
had to, like,
why
take my time
it
and
was
just
that version of Israel.
go through everything, process everything, and just, yeah. I'm good with time. I'm good with patience. So that's why even now it's taken so long before I've done this interview, just to like take my time, go through my own emotions and process everything.
Looking back, how was your training camp leading up into this fight? And are there some things that you could have done differently?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. I had some conversations with myself. And I'm gonna actually like, just little things. Like, for example, I'm gonna start having breakfast before I train. Like little things like that. I'm like, okay, at this level, you have to, even though the camps, they get better and better, more dialed in with.
So he didn't have breakfast. I'm kind of surprised. I would think that like you would have like a nutritionist, what's the word, and chef and stuff like that, and yeah, kind of support his eating and the fuel that goes inside his body. Maybe he does, but and maybe he just doesn't like breakfast and stuff. But
looking back, how was your training camp?
I feel like that's a really big
leading up
factor
into
when
this
it
fight
comes to
And
this
are there
level
some
of
things
fighting and stuff like that.
that you could have done differently?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. I had some conversations with myself. And I'm gonna actually like, just little things. Like, for example, I'm gonna start having breakfast before I train. Like little things like that. I'm like, okay, at this level, you have to. Even though you know, the camps they get better and better, more dialed in with things I do. But then now I'm like, okay, bet we've had this result. So what else can I do to change, to better myself? Certain things I'm gonna do, and yeah.
With everything we talked about, you being active and whatnot, when do
Eating
you think
before
people will see
he
you back in
trains.
the octagon?
Breakfast eating before he trains.
We'll see.
What was the question?
When do you think people will see you back in the octagon?
We'll see.
Do you care who holds the belt?
Nope. The belt's never mattered to me. Like I mean, it does obviously, but like, how many times have I said it's just a fancy tiara that brings more money and this and that, rah. But I've gone to the level now that the belt's just a nice accessory. And I already got belts. I got many belts. I'm just gonna do it again, just for fun. Just for fun, you know.
And the last thing, is there anything that you want to say to your fans and supporters, the real ones?
The real ones. Stick with me, kid. To be honest, no, like I said, those who know me and appreciate me, thank you. Thanks for sticking by me. Thanks for, just thank you. Because without you guys, I won't be able to do what I do. Without you guys, like the real ones I'm talking about, like, you know who you are. The ones that are solid, the ones that take inspiration from my stories and my triumph. Even in my losses, they've taken inspiration from my life story. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you. And again, patience. Practice patience with me. Don't react, respond. Take your time. Let me cook. But just thank you. That's one thing I can say is thank you, because, you know, in these times, like, bro, last time I lost, what happened? I said they still call me champ. Nothing changed. Won the belt again. They call me champ. Nothing changed. I lost again. They still call me champ. Nothing changes. I'm Israel Adesanya. You're Israel Adesanya. You know me. You know my story. So thank you. Thank you for supporting me, and keep supporting me. If you want to hop off, feel free to. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Appreciate you. But just stick with me, practice patience, and wait for the response.
I appreciate your time.
You know who it is.
Alrighty, that's the video. Final thoughts. I mean, yeah, he seems confident that he can get the belt back. I think his next fight wouldn't be for the belt. I think he fights someone else before he gets another title fight chance again. I know Dana was saying that there should be a rematch and stuff, and I don't think the matchmakers will go through with that. I think Izzy fights someone else. I think Sean maybe fights DDP. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to hear what he said after the fight. It was a pretty interesting fight. More so on Strickland's side, and seeing him outclass Izzy like that. Maybe down the road, the rematch. I know that Izzy's coach said that rematch fights are hard to train for, which really makes sense, because, I mean, like, what else would you really do differently? But yeah, I'm excited to see what Izzy does, what Strickland does, and just the whole division. That fight really opened up the division kind of a little bit, shifted things around. So excited to see how that things change in that division. That's that's all. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to smack that like button, smack the subscribe button, comment down below videos you guys want me to react to, or video suggestions. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to stay fresh.